Well, here we go. We're up to it. It's the last bit. I've been putting this off for so long. Still don't really want to do it, but I'm going to have to do it because it's the last thing to do to get this thing finished and on the road. I've got to do this just to replace this switch here, which just doesn't happen. The whole dash has got to come out. It's not the only thing I'm going to do though. I'm going to drop a double DIN late model touchscreen unit in there. Let's get it out. And there we go. Bada boom, bada bing, bada bang. The dash is out again. Now this allows me to get to this, undo these couple of screws here, take that off. There's a couple of screws on the sides here. They come out and I can get this switch. Let's get into it. If replacing this switch doesn't fix the problem, then that tells me that the problem is going to be within this big fat loom, which I don't really want to have to replace it, but if I have to, I will. It's down there, there's a couple of screws, and this splits apart. There we go. Alright, so that splits in half. And there's our switch, so we've actually got access to it. There we go, gotcha. Okay, there's the clip. So that just goes into the back of the switch there like that. That plugs into the AC. Alright, just needs some power. Let's see if it works. Well, there's relays clicking. Right, so I'll just plug this fan in. Alright, it's a moment of truth. And that's not moving. Well, that now poses a problem. Not sure what to do here. I suppose I could check my fuses, just make sure. Well, that's disappointing. The switches are both doing exactly the same thing. So I dare say that switch is not stuffed. So by this stage I've resigned myself to having to pull the main wiring loom out of the donor and transplant it into this one. So to cut a long story short, I'll show you what I ended up doing, what I found, and I ended up making a damn sight more work for myself than I absolutely had to. I absolutely didn't have to do all that work, but you know, about 40 hours later, and nothing worth. It's just a mess of pulling wires out. So yeah, I'm going to skip all of that, and I'll show you what I found. Go. Oh, come on, stop catching. That is one hell of a job, and I really don't want to have to do that again. Well, I've just gone through and I've retested all of these fuses in this fuse box. They're all good. Then I've gone back over here. I've got this other wiring loom out now. I'm looking at this one and I've gone, oh, there are two 30 amp fuse blocks, fuses in this one. Me wonders there was only one in the other one. A little excited, and let's pull this one out. I'm getting pretty excited. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm just talking shit. So there's only one 30 amp fuse in there, and there are a couple of pins there for it. So let's give it a go. Slip that fuse in there. I'll just go and hook all the power up and make sure everything works. Whoa! That's really not what I was expecting to happen. Let's have a look down here. So I've got that's the fan sitting down there. This is what I've been trying to get working. This is why I've pulled all this dash apart. There's other things I need to do as well, but I'm glad I didn't go any further in this one. I was really thinking I was going to have to replace this whole friggin' loom. So where's my switch? My switch is there. Let's turn that the other direction. Alright, so the ignition's on. This is my switch. Oh, I've got a low speed, medium. I've got all the speeds. So I've gone to all that bloody effort and all that work, pulling all this dash apart again because I thought it was the switch. And all we were missing was a bloody fuse. God damn it. So you reckon I don't feel like a bit of a dick? I've gone to the extent, I've got a computer out here, I've got wiring diagrams, I've got this other loom out to try and work out what was wrong. When I had a closer look, it was one missing fuse. Fuck, I know! Well, live and learn, I guess. At least it's not a fucked loom. It's just a missing fuse. I never questioned it because that fuse had always been missing ever since I bought this car. And I assumed that there was only supposed to be one in there. But there's not, there's supposed to be two. And lo and behold, I put it roughly together and it works. So now I can get back into reassembling this thing and actually get it on the road because that's everything done. That's everything. I've just got to undo the work that I've just done. I'm so glad I didn't go to the extent of pulling the wiring loom out of this one. It would have been devastating to have done all of that and realise it was just a friggin' fuse. I really feel stupid now. You dumb prick. You dopey prick. How fucking stupid is that? I've checked those fuses so many times. And I just didn't realise there was one missing. Oh, damn. Oh, well, at least I can make more progress now. Let's see how excited I can get. Probably not tonight, but got to work tomorrow. So while I've got this dash carcass out, there's a couple of things I've got to do. One of them is to replace this vent. So what I have is this one. I've taken this out of the donor. I'll show you how this goes in. To get these out of the dash is not as easy as you might think. So with the carcass out, it's fairly easy to get this out. When the carcass is in the car, that's a whole different story. There's just no room to get to. You can't get to screws like this and this and this. They're just near impossible to get. You can't get anything in under here. You can't get under there to get to the clips on the vent itself. So yeah, much easier with it out. There's a bunch of screws that need to get taken out. So this bracket has to come out. Got to remember to put it back in again because it's quite important. But these ducts have got to come out so you can get to the clips. So this is what you got to do. I've got the screw over here holding this vent in place. I'm not certain whether this vent will just come out. Oh, there's another screw up the top. There's another. Might be able to get this out without pulling all of the vents out. Oh, set. Particularly difficult having bloody camera in the way. But I'm not going to be able to show you this if the camera's not in the road. So there's another screw. Now that should, there we go. That just lifts out like so. So push that clip down and forward. That clip down and forward. Underneath there is another couple of clips. Not the easiest to get at. So under here, these clips here, you get pushed up. Alright. And then got to get it to move past the dash pad. So there's those ones. Okay, that's that one out. I've got one more to try and get over this side. I can't even see the fucking thing. Oh, just pop back in, you bastard. That's that one. Get that one up, and there we go. Turn this dash back over. And then it's just a matter of lifting that straight out. Put it back together. We've got the replacement one. It's just a matter of slip it into its spot. And that's all clipped in. That's the easy bit. Now I've just got to put the vents and stuff back on. Alright, so you just get this vent, slip it back over there, slip it over the outlet vent, and then all we need to do is put these two screws in here and the bracket back in there. Alright, so this one's out of the donors, in slightly better condition, probably a little bit more rusty, but that doesn't really matter. Do the one on the duct. I tighten these because they're just into plastic, and then there's one more just down here. Just doing these by hand because I don't want to over tighten with the drill. That's it, back in place. The vent's all in place. That all works. That's perfect. It's almost ready to go back in.